Welcome back to another episode of Walked In. Today we will be looking at Gatlin Bair. I don't know if any of y'all know him, but this dude is a highly touted five-star prospect out of Idaho, and he is committed to play for the Oregon Ducks. Now, this guy is he honestly looks like he could be the next big athlete, probably even better than Travis Hunter, but he does play wide receiver, and I think that's all he will play at Oregon, sadly. But this dude is a freak on the field with some freaky natural instincts, just watching him play here in high school. But I mean, this dude is going to be legit when he gets to college, and I think Oregon and Dan Lanning will utilize him to be exactly what he is, which is just a monster.
I know that he's recruited to just be a receiver, but as we watch this film, give my boy some defensive snaps. Give him some third down packages and let this guy run. Let's get into the film so you can just see this guy play because he is highly impressive.
Yeah, I would say this dude is also a track star, so he's very fast. He's 6'1", 194, but I mean, he's an athlete. Like, look at him go up and get that ball, get mossed.
He plays
Uh,
bigger for sure.
Yeah, he looks a lot bigger and he plays a lot bigger. I don't even know if he's actually 6'1s, but like look at them routes. He's so crisp and able to get them separation, cutting from them DBs. I mean, that's like you'll see it throughout this film. He just is able to get separation, and if he doesn't, he can just go up and get a ball whenever he wants
Quarterback
to.
trusts him. He knows his guy's going to go get it. That
It
obviously shows how talented he is.
Yeah, it's honestly ridiculous watching him play, especially with how much they bracket him, and he still gets open. Like he's getting doubled, triple covered almost every play, unless you'll see later they do like a quads like line. But this, like I said, track star. So I
Oof, look at
mean,
that acceleration.
yeah,
Hits the
them punt
gas and
returns,
boom.
it's gonna be insane. So I think Oregon, sticks to what they're used to, and getting them fast guys, and he's gonna be one of them.
This
So
is a
here
back. This is a back view of it.
I'll say this is also the state championship. So I mean, he's got a quad side on the right side, and he's just on an island by himself, runs a post across the field, gets wide open, just takes it for a touchdown.
They
I mean,
complete that
that's
for
state championship too. I mean, his quarterback isn't always able to connect with him because he's just so fast and outruns them, and his quarterback doesn't have the arm to keep up with him. But I mean, dude's legit, and here's him on defense. I mean, just look at that
I got to go
pursuit.
back. This is just great. You can see it. He comes up from the outside backer position, comes off the edge, but the the acceleration and the pursuit is unreal. And he has so many plays like this where as soon as he's off the line, I mean, he's at the quarterback's throat in a second.
Yeah, and let me actually it's counted that he runs a 4.44 40 time, which, I know that doesn't seem impressive. He also runs a 10 1500 meter, which broke the Idaho state record by almost 2/10 of the second. So I mean, his
Mm.
40 doesn't compare, but in the 100 he is fast, fast. So I mean, Oregon is getting a guy in
There's
this.
also something to be said for game speed versus on
Yeah.
the on a clock speed. You put a ball in his hands, and this guy's a monster, as you can see by this play.
Yeah, I mean they wherever he plays high school out and over in Idaho, where them potatoes are all at, he plays everything. I mean, whether it's a
Off the edge.
linebacker, he plays wide receiver, quarterback. So this dude can do it all. And he's pretty elite at everything. I said, I don't know anything this guy wouldn't be good at.
I'm telling you, man, I want to see this guy play some defense just on some rare occasion. I want to see him lined up out there. He deserves it.
Heck, I mean, you send him off the edge, you're almost guaranteed a sack. Here's him
Here's
again,
second
state
one
championship,
or
and you just see the quads up top in a
quad
straight
line,
line. And he gets
go
that one
ball.
on one, and I mean, absolutely burns him. Like I said, that quarterback can't keep up with his
The second
speed, but
touchdown in that game for him. Same formation, other side of the field. It's not a
and
touchdown, but it's
that
still a good
post right again
completion.
across the middle, and his ability to make yards after the play or his yards after catch, he does have a unique set of skills to make some moves after he catches the ball, which I think is pretty good. And you need that at the next level in order to do them spin moves and them jukes. You got to train for that.
I love seeing the quarterback throw this thing out here. This guy's double covered. They're step for step currently with him. That looks like a pick, and then he just outruns it. The quarterback knows exactly where his guy's going to be. They have good chemistry together, even though the quarterback doesn't have the best of arms. he does a good job of knowing where his guy's going to be a lot of the time. He just runs so so angry and so hard. It's very impressive just watching him play.
Yeah, especially since he's a big guy, and that
Watch this
just
close. Watch this close. Boom.
to be so big and so fast, it's like I know he's 6'1", but there's no way this dude measures in at 6'1".
Yeah, he plays big, that's for sure. Woo, split.
Yeah, he looks like a monster on the field. Like, he's one of them mom 5 stars where like if you sat down with your mom to watch a game, she could point out, hey, that's that kid
Yeah,
going
yeah,
to
for
Oregon. That's
sure.
that 5 star recruit. She's one of them, or mom, wife 5 stars, however you want to say it. He's one of those, you could tell, just anybody can tell. Said here's him on defense again, just coming off the edge, splitting that double almost, causing a forced fumble. He gets back there so fast. I mean, that's the one thing I'd say about him. I think that's what everybody says about him. He's just so fast. But I mean, if you look at his route running, the way he makes his cuts, it gets him separation enough where he's almost always open, like right there where he cuts out. Like I know that's a terrible ball, but if you have the
Yeah, the
quarterback that
route
can
was
throw it,
fantastic.
yeah, it's
Watch
like if
this.
you have the
Watch this
quarterback
cut.
splits
Woo.
both of them. So if you have the quarterback that can throw it, that's a touchdown all day. Which it still almost is just because of how good he is.
Yeah, typically you don't see guys with with top end speed. Now 4.4. People say it's not top end, but the watching him play, he's got top end speed. Typically, you don't see guys like that have incredible routes. You see it in the NFL, sure, and that's probably why they're there. But even then, your bigger targets, they don't necessarily have the best routes, and then some of your real fast guys, there are some routes on the tree that they sometimes struggle with, certain things they don't like to do. In this film, you see him run a
Like right
whole
there,
yes,
right there. Like,
you see him run the whole gambit of the route tree, and I mean, every time his steps are like just on time. He has great cuts. He has good head motion. Does a great job with his hips.
and
Sync
he can
that with them.
throw.
Yeah, and he has some little
Uh,
receiver passes here.
But I mean, one thing that I'd point out is his ability to drop his hips, and
Yeah,
even with how fast he is, his ability to sink down and just, I mean, absolutely just stop on a dime and
he
be
can
able to
punt
turn
too.
around and catch a ball. I'll say this guy does everything on the field. So he probably was his high school, not even his high school football team. He was his high school. So this guy can, like, I don't know, you ain't bringing him down with one person, so you ain't covering him with one person. So he's a special athlete.
Watch this guard right here.
Yeah,
Actually, it was the
absolutely
center, wasn't it?
blows them back
and
5
then
yards into the
and then
backfield,
goes
runs straight
parallel
down the line.
down the line, which is great technique. Has a perfect angle to make the play on the quarterback. That's just very well done.
Especially being 6'1", 190 as he's listed. Like that's just on a center or a guard. It don't matter on a lineman. That's hard to knock someone back 5 yards in the backfield and then make the sack. But it's pretty typical for this guy.
He trusts his instincts. He trusts his eyes. Obviously, he has great ability. He knows that, and he uses that to his advantage. And instead of just relying on that, he works on his craft. You can tell by the stuff that he does, offense and defense. He doesn't just use his abilities. He also uses his brain, and he trains it very well. Where he makes great angles. He has good tackling technique. A lot of the stuff that he does very, very well, and that shows that he is a hard worker, not just a guy who coasts on his ability.
Yeah, which his instincts are second to none, just, based off of what you see on defense. So it's kind of like one of the guys that I used to play with and you used to coach, Trev. And it's like, the instincts
Mm-hmm.
just take over and you just get to the ball somehow. Even if you don't know how, you get there fast, you get there hard, and you get there. Right position, right time. So, I mean, and he's gonna lay a hit. Like he finishes forward, he puts his body on the line. He's a tough physical guy, even with how fast he is. And usually when you're that fast, you don't see someone right here, lower their head and lower their shoulder and run over someone to get them extra yards. You usually see them run out of bounds.
Now, after everything that we've seen, this is probably the thing that impresses me the most of this almost 8-minute film. The instincts to realize what is happening. Honestly, he finds it before the running back even shows it that it's a screen. and he makes the play on it. I want to run this back
Yeah,
again.
4 yards
It
in the
deserves.
backfield as well.
He's on a straight rush, and then immediately he reads what's going on.
Also, yeah, dude's 7 yards in the backfield and still makes the play 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
He is turning back before the running back even does. That's not really his play to make there, but he makes it because of he realizes what's going on.
Yeah, his instincts are just second to none. And I mean, say what you want, but intangibles are what colleges are looking for. He's pretty big, he's fast, he's strong, he has great uh, hand-eye coordination, great ball tracking ability. His cuts are second to none. His route running. Said he's kind of like a basketball player with the moves he makes after he catches the ball. And his football instincts are just there. I mean, that's pretty much all you can really say about him. It's like he's just a complete player.
Yeah. So Gatlin Bair, I very much look forward to seeing you play in college. He's currently committed to Oregon. I think he's got
He,
another. Does he have another year, or is he signed with them?
no, he did sign.
He signed. So Oregon's got themselves a good one. I don't know how much we'll be seeing him as a freshman, but in a couple years, if not his freshman year, very much look forward to seeing him on the field and seeing him play, and hopefully have a couple defensive snaps too.
Yeah, I think Dan Lanning. I know I might be biased because I'm a Georgia boy and all, but I think Dan Lanning has the program headed in the right direction, especially with their top 5 recruiting class this year. So, I mean, a lot of good things to look forward into, especially with Dylan Gabriel going to be their quarterback next year. So, I look to see Gatlin Bair have a big year, if not like a impact player year next year at Oregon. But with that being said, stay locked in, everyone.